Welcome to the Rowdy podcast. I'm Nicky T.
My name is Kurt Ozan.
And today we have our Mr. Special Guestie, Mr. Paxton Peay.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, brother.
It's a joy to be here.
Good morning to you guys.
Cheers to Surfside.
Yeah, I need to
I
start
got
off the right
I got
way.
the half lemonade one.
I don't know what they are.
Cheers,
what is this
man.
one?
That one's just straight tea.
Straight tea. That's right up my alley.
Yep.
Being from the south.
We didn't quite get there.
Teased iced.
Being from the south, you can't go wrong with anything.
Teased ice grill isn't.
My favorite thing ever is you were
Wow.
telling. That's good, huh?
Oh my God.
Dangerous on a boat,
Yeah,
right?
This is dangerous on a boat.
Well, you get a 4-pack to take home too.
Oh, absolutely. There'll be drink before I get home.
My favorite thing is that you were just before we started the podcast, were telling me how you're going to get 2 hours of sleep tonight, and then when we're like, "Would you like to have a drink at 3:30 in the afternoon?" You were like, "Yes."
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, man. It's a grind out here, so you got to do whatever you can do to.
He's got that good young liver, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so.
What
I
do you
wouldn't say it's young. I'm 28, so
Yeah.
It's true.
it's been through some terrible years when I was in college.
Some war already.
Miss-
Hanging out
Mississippi.
in college, so I didn't actually go. I just hung out with people there.
So at this point, you will have played the Nothing Fancy takeover.
Yeah,
Wow, that was a crazy night.
always a good time. It probably went pretty good if I had to guess.
I would bet it went real good, dude. Jackson killed the design too. That like NASCAR.
Oh, so did
old
he
school
make
NASCAR
that?
thing. Well, not him specifically, but
Yeah,
Robots.
you know, his squad.
Yeah,
I think he had like a real designer make it.
Yeah. Oh boy,
Yeah. Got to get this mic mic'd up. You know.
gotta get that
Mic
boom
it
boom
up,
pow,
baby.
dude.
All right. Well, how are you doing, brother?
man, I'm good. Busy as always. I feel like you aren't ever not busy here, so
Yeah, that's very true.
I feel like I don't see you guys any either. It's just like everybody's kind of doing their own thing every day. So.
That means it's working though.
Yeah, that is. It's working.
If you're around too much, then you're not doing the thing.
Yeah, if you're out every single night, you might just have a drinking problem.
Well, we
That's
probably
true.
There's
still
nothing
have
wrong with that. You can drink at home too. So.
Yeah, that's true. It's way cheaper.
It's better to be too busy than not busy enough.
I mean, if I had some of these surf sides at home, I probably wouldn't ever leave either, honestly.
Well, you're gonna have 4. That's not enough to stay at home for too long.
Yeah.
yeah, I won't. They won't make it home.
Yeah. It is also McElwain's birthday. Have a birthday, McElwain, even though. This will
Happy
come out in a few
birthday
weeks, but-
to you.
Yeah, happy birthday.
And thanks for playing his birthday bash.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it. Anytime you get to go to Rusty Nail.
Yes. Oh,
Can't
also,
pass up on that.
anytime we have an event at the Rusty Nail, $4 surf sides.
Oh, dude, I'm down.
Aggressive and awesome. And we have a case of surf sides for all of the folks to play.
Really?
Yeah, so you'll have some more of these luxurious drinks.
I mean, playing Broadway tonight just gets better and better. It sounds like I'm gonna have a great time.
You're gonna have a blast.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to, man?
Man, a lot of writing and really working on like my next projects.
Yeah.
I really wanted to like take a step back and like really dive into what I wanted to be as an artist and what kind of music I wanted to focus on, and that's kind of what I've dialed back on to probably
Yeah.
the past 6 months. I know it feels like I haven't been like as active on the socials, but I mean I had to slack off on something to dedicate time towards something else, and I'm excited to get these songs out. I've worked really hard over the past year and a half, 2 years, writing with some incredible people, so. These are some of my favorite songs I'm gonna be putting out this year.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
What? Sorry, I was just gonna ask. I'm not, a singer songwriter, believe it or not. What is the process of like working and grinding on that kind of thing, like developing your artistry and writing? Like, what is your process
For
on
me,
that?
like when I first moved here, I thought like like everybody, I feel like they got it figured out when you get to town. But I realized quickly that I didn't have it figured out as much as I wanted to or had hoped to. So.
yeah.
I mean, I kind of went through the motions like my first year here, and I had some good songs come out and some great success on those. But I really wanted to like connect deeper with myself and like who I am and where I'm from, and kind of resemble that through the music that I've been writing. And when you get in a room with like good writers and stuff that really like know you on a personal level, I feel like it's easier to do that. Which that's what I've been trying to focus on, is like writing with the people that know me best and that are okay if I come in with a stupid idea that I want to write that day, and they're okay with writing it and just seeing where it goes. But I feel like I've really done that the past couple months, like find out who I want to be as an artist, and I'm excited, man.
I think that's an important part. We talk about that a lot. Is like, there's so much good music. Honestly,
Oh, yeah,
it's
it is.
crazy how much good music there is in the world. But having a good idea of who you are, what you want to sound like, who you want to express yourself as, like what part of you want to show to the fans and the crowds and everything like
and
that.
it really takes like diving deep within yourself, because I feel like it's so easy to like look at other people when you get up here and see what everybody else is doing and like what's working for somebody else. Just because it works for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Just
Right.
Just like in a sense, it's like trying to copy like TikTok videos that somebody else does, like how they start their videos. It's not going to work for you. You just kind of you have to be like genuine with yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I've tried to do.
It's funny to hear you talk about coming to town and thinking you had it made
Yeah.
and then realizing you didn't. That was my favorite part of I went and saw church recently, acoustic, and he talks about how he's like, I'm going to move the town and take this town over just immediately.
Yeah.
And then he didn't. And he ended up, he was singing Fiddle and Steel like down on 2nd Avenue for years. And, you know, so it's like, even church had the same kind of a thing, you know? So it's like no one truly has it figured out, especially when you first move to
I mean,
town.
I feel like you want to think you do when you get here, but it's just my biggest piece of advice, if I could tell somebody that's like newly moving here, don't be afraid to, you know, like put yourself out there and like go and do certain things, but everybody else's path is also not yours either. So,
Correct.
I mean, it could work for somebody in 6 months or it could take you 8 years. It's just being okay with being here. I mean, I'm a lot older than most of the guys in my friend group, but I have no problem, like, you know, grinding it out and
No.
staying here and doing what I moved here for.
Right. And honestly, I think you're one of the people that I talk about. Like, you're willing to go out on the road and play full band gigs too.
yeah.
You know, a lot of people will get to town and they'll think that it's going to happen here. Whereas like you're like, let's go out, let's play gigs, let's grind.
I'll play anytime, man. Like, before I moved to town, I'll be completely honest, I did not know what a pub deal was before I moved to Nashville. Like, I wasn't somebody that moved here wanted to, like, specifically be like, hey, I want to be a writer. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to be an artist. Like, I knew what songwriters were, but I didn't know, like, how deep the business went. Like, you have people that, like, book you rights, and there's writing's a whole different side of the business. Like, but I moved up here specifically to be an artist. Like, that's what I fell in love with. Like, my whole life, I've, you know, loved music, but really before I moved to town, I knew it was something I wanted to at least try. And I felt like I was running out of time, so I said, you know, let's go. See
Get it
what we
done.
got.
So where you're from originally?
I'm from Phoebe, Mississippi. It's about 20 minutes north of Starkville, Mississippi. It's a small town. Like, I say this all the time. It's the only way to describe it. It's so small we don't have a Dollar General. I mean, we got 2 gas stations and a diner, and that's about it.
How many
But
churches?
we've got, I think we only have one that's actually active right now. It's Phoebe Baptist Church. The other one closed. I mean, my town's small. Like, everybody that lives there I'm related to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding. My grandma had like 14 brothers and sisters, and I'm related to so many people. We all
Everyone's
live
cousin.
there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How many mosques do they got?
we have none of those.
That's funny.
So was like Rick's your kind of like hometown venue?
Yeah, Rick, I claim that as my hometown venue for sure. That was like where I played my first big show. And I say this anytime I talk to anybody about Rick's Cafe. I owe Rick a lot. I mean, he gave me opportunities when I really didn't deserve them.
Yeah.
And for the first probably 2 years I played there, I probably didn't put 50 people in that room. And he just kind of kept letting me come in and play. And I remember we played this one show. It was in the summertime, so granted, like, students weren't in town or anything either, but we had like 21 people come through the door, 21 tickets sold. And he was like, come up to the office with me. And we get up there, and I'm like, hey, man, look, before we get going, if you don't want to bring me back, like, I get it. Like, I'm probably not even paying your electric bill tonight. And he just, you know, he kept giving me opportunities, and it finally just kind of popped off for us. And I'm super thankful for him. He's helped open a lot of doors for me, so I owe a lot to that guy.
They're starting to do those outdoor shows there too.
Yeah, I know.
Flatland's the first one.
I'm excited. I'll actually be down there that weekend. I play the next night inside, so.
Oh, nice. We're thinking about coming down for that. Just to
It'll be
see
fun,
it.
dude.
Matt loves Rick so much too.
Oh, I love that place. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite places to go play.
It's great.
No doubt.
Yeah. So we also had you play Floribama for us last year.
Oh, man.
The first ever Raise Rowdy Floribama takeover.
That should happen again sometime.
I mean, it's gonna happen again.
it
That's
should
for
definitely
sure.
happen again.
Yeah.
Is
We
this
actually,
a formal announcement right now? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna do it.
There you go.
We were like talking about, Matt and I were like, okay, what do we want to do? How many times do we want to be out of town? Where do we want to spend those days?
yeah.
And I was like, okay, Key West is cool, but the beach sucks.
Yeah. You
Everything's
can't really go
super
on the
expensive.
beach there. Like,
Yeah.
It's $1 trillion to get there.
Yeah, everything's expensive.
Always hungover on the flight back.
Yeah.
Delta robs you of your flight on the way down there, like
Yes.
$700.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I was like, or Floribama's beach is beautiful, and
Yeah.
like there's housing for people.
And
The artists,
bushwhackers.
the artists actually get paid even at least a little.
Yeah,
Awesome. So I was like, that seems like a better option for me if we were going to pick between those two.
I love it. It's a great spot, man. I've had some very fun times there. I played a radio show down there with Michael, and it was a blast.
Oh, pure chaos, I'm sure.
Dude, I love it. We played there like a few weeks ago, and it was Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, my.
It was insane.
Pure chaos.
It was crazy.
And the people tip there too, which is great.
Oh yeah.
They tip.
We
very
played
well.
the tent stage the first night.
That's where I played.
Oh man, like when we got there, the sound guy walked up to us. He's like, "This is like the most people we've seen before a show started." I'm like, "Well, I'm telling you, like everybody from where I'm from, like they vacation down here because it's like 4 hours from where I live. So like I had a bunch of friends and like family down there, and I mean it got rowdy.
That's sick.
Like they give you like the 45-minute slots and you can take a break. We just played 4 straight hours.
You're like, let's just
I had
send
so
it.
much fun.
Yeah, as long
I
as you don't
love
have
that.
to pee,
Yeah.
But I mean, it was hot. But like, I'm that kind of person. Like, I get like an adrenaline high off of like live performance shows, and I
Yeah.
like don't want to stop. Like, if I take a 15-minute break, I might come back up the next 45 minutes and look like a knot on a log and just be like out of it.
Yeah, if you're sending it, you want to send
Oh
it.
yeah, full fledged, 4 hours. Let's
Yeah.
It's
roll with
addicting,
it.
huh?
Oh, it is. I
Yeah.
love it.
And I mean, also, it's a great place to make some new fans because there's people all from
yeah.
different areas that are all there too.
And like they care about the music too. That's like
Yeah.
when we played y'all's thing. It was like September last year.
Yeah.
I noticed like a lot of people came up to me after and was like, where can I find you? Like socials or Spotify? Do you have your own music? And that was like the coolest thing for me because I mean, you don't really get that up here. Like if you do the Broadway thing, like
Yeah.
they mostly come in and say, "Here's $20 to play some
Next
Morgan
Morgan
Wallen
Wallen.
song."
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Can you play the Moneybag Yo Morgan Wallen song?
Yeah, I actually got asked to play Broadway Girls like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, sure, let me just go get a DJ and somebody to throw the 808 tracks on, and we got you, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things. At Live Oak now, it's starting to get touristy enough where I have to tell people that
Yeah.
a writer's round and what it is.
I've been up there like twice now that somebody walks up with like a $20 bill and like, Tyler Childers? I'm like, it's a
Bro.
writer's round.
Okay.
Diamond Rio? I'm like, no, like, this
You're like,
is
if you
our
give me
music.
$100, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it for 20 though.
That's very funny.
Hey,
I've
money
only seen that
talks.
like once though.
Oh, it happens a good bit now.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on Sunday, because it's like there's still tourists in town. So.
And they're wanting to go somewhere chill. They've
Yeah.
had enough of Broadway.
Yeah.
They find out you can go get somewhere for drinks that are cheaper than $9 beer.
So twice a night out, like when I kick off the first round, I tell them, hey, these are their original songs. They're not going to play any cover songs. You can't request anything unless it's their song that they wrote. And then I'll do it again in the middle just to kind of make the best shot at that not happening.
It
doesn't
still
always work.
happens.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
been a lot more common too. Like when I first moved to town, like Live Oak was like the premier place to go for
Yeah.
rounds, and like it really wasn't touristy. I felt like.
Yeah. Midtown has gotten more touristy over the last couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
years. Especially like post-COVID, it's started to amplify.
I'm now realizing how long it's been since I've been into Midtown or into Live Oak. I need to come in today. I almost came yesterday, but then I didn't.
Yeah.
But I almost did.
Corey and the crew crushed. They also introduced us this girl, Victoria Camp, who was awesome.
Cool.
Julia Kate's been writing with her, and she's great. I
Oh,
heard her
yeah.
sound check, and I was like, okay.
You will find some talented people on the
Man.
stage in Live Oak.
Yeah.
Any given night too. I mean, you can go any given night, and there's talented people. there.
Yes. Yeah. We're have you heard that building's closing?
Yeah, I was
End of
I was
July.
telling the guys the other day in the group chat. I said when we find out the last day that Live Oak's open, we should get there when they open and stay till they close.
Matt's round.
Hey, put me in on that. I'll do it.
It's a Tuesday. Matt's hosting.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. It's
Oh,
the
I'm
last
there for it.
Tuesday in July.
I'm there for it.
Oh my god, that's gonna be so much fun.
Sheer degeneracy.
I'm probably gonna get there at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. I mean,
They're open.
It's gonna be like bluegrass brunch or 90s brunch or whatever on a Tuesday afternoon.
I mean, they're just moving down the street, but that building is my favorite, man.
Oh man, I love that place.
Me
Like
too.
before I moved to town, I was like watching, you guys do the podcast and stuff, and listening to y'all stuff, and then seeing everybody at Live Oak. So when I first moved here, I was like, well, I know what Live Oak is, so that's where I'm gonna
Yeah.
hang out. Like, I met some of my best friends up here at Live Oak. So
Super
I mean,
cool.
it's sad to see it go, but I
It
mean, I'm
is.
sure they'll improve and
Yeah,
keep
they're
it
still
going.
gonna have Live Oak. It's just gonna be a couple buildings down.
Yeah,
and
that's where Corey had his wedding rehearsal
Yeah.
or whatever at the top bar above Doghouse.
Oh yeah.
Super
Yeah.
nice up there.
yeah, it is cool. I think they're planning to do some like ticketed events,
Really?
kind of things.
That'll be
there.
awesome. Where's it gonna be
Yeah,
at?
Doghouse.
Oh really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, they bought that building.
That's
or
cool.
rented it. I don't know, bought probably
Leased
not
or
the right word.
whatever.
Yeah,
That'll be
Money
awesome.
stuff, yeah.
yeah.
As long as it doesn't go away for good, I'd be
Yeah,
impressed.
and I think from what they said, they'll have right of refusal for the same building once it's up, but they got a 5-year lease at
Oh really?
that new building. So
I hope they take it back.
yeah,
Hell yeah, man. I guess that's kind of one way to keep tourists out. You know, it's like charge a couple bucks to get in, you know. Then you don't have people
Yeah.
requesting wagon wheel.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, that's pretty true.
Yeah.
Or maybe they'll request it and not want to pay for it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you got those people everywhere. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember telling this guy he was there with his wife or fiance or whatever, and I was like, he's like, hey, you think they'll play this song? It's like my wedding song. I was like, well, none of these people wrote it, man, and that's what this is. I was like, but there's 100 bars a half a mile away where any of those people will
they'll
do
be
that.
gladly to do it for $20.
Yeah, and he's like, well, they did it at every other bar I was at. I was like, yeah, but this isn't that bar. And I literally like told this guy 10 times. He was pretty drunk, but I told him like 10 times no, and then
He
he
was
went up.
definitely under the influence.
Oh yeah, and then he went up to and asked someone, and they were like, no, man. And he like got mad. I'm like, I just told you like 20 times they were gonna say no.
Bro,
But
drunk people are so annoying
yeah,
as I drink my drink.
Yeah, I'll take another sweet.
I know, because I know you dealing with it. You
Oh,
you
yeah.
gig in all kinds of places.
Man,
You're
I
kind of
play
in the.
anywhere.
I love it. I know it's like that's what Luke was doing those long cover sets and stuff.
yeah,
Growing up, you know. So
I enjoy it though. Like a lot of people you talk to, and like I had so many people tell me when I moved to town, you know, stay away from Broadway. You'll get sucked into it. I mean, you can. I can definitely see how you can, but
it's good money. That's why.
it's good money and it's. I mean, it's decent exposure. I just enjoy playing. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'll go out. I love going out of town. Like, because those shows are obviously more fun. Like, hit a couple college towns. Like, do a Thursday through Saturday run, and then come back home Sunday. But I have nothing against going down to Broadway and playing a good shift. I just love playing music with my friends, and it's just kind of who I am. So
dude, that's me to a T.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like, I just love playing. Like,
Yeah.
even like when we're not touring with Luke, I'll go out and get in a van with somebody and
Yeah.
do a weekend and tour, just being in a van or whatever, just because I love playing shows.
if you're doing it for the money, you're totally doing it for the wrong reasons. I mean,
yeah,
and I've said this to a million people. I don't care if I, make $1 million. I mean, obviously that'd be cool. But
yeah,
That'd be sick.
I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing
Right.
it because this is actually what I enjoy doing. The money's good,
Yeah.
when you get to a point to where it is good, but it's
Right.
not right now.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
but I mean, the money would be, a plus, but I just love playing. Like,
yeah.
I love being with my friends in a van, traveling. Like, just some of the best stories I could tell in my life are in a van.
Yeah. Well, and breaking Kato's stones,
yeah.
We love you, Brennan.
Yeah. One person I played with recently that has that love for music, and I'm in like that. Like everyone I play with loves music, but there's that thing where they don't care when or where, they just want to do it all the time. Is I played a writer's round with Christian Bush, and that dude loves playing any kind, writing or playing or singing, and it doesn't matter if he's so successful with his band and as a producer and all that. But we got to play. He's like, dude, like, what if I played mandolin on this? And like, what if I jammed on, like, I'm like, this guy, like, he's like me. Like, he just loves playing music.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool.
That's the type of people you want to be around.
Yeah,
too.
man, it
Like,
was so much fun.
When
when
And
you
he's
start
so
getting
talented.
stressed out and stuff, like you lose interest in it. Like,
Or
just have
jaded.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long either, but you just have to enjoy it. Like, that's the biggest thing I've learned being up here. Just enjoy like what you're doing. Because
Well, it's-
5 years ago, I would have never thought I would be doing what I am now. But
Yeah, it's all part of the process.
yeah, it just takes time.
Yeah. And you have new music coming out, which we
I
talked
do.
about, but not specifically about the song that's going to be releasing around this podcast. So why don't you-
I'm super excited. This is so funny enough. It's almost a year old from the day I wrote it, and I wrote it with Max King, Evan Mayo, and it's one of the last songs I wrote with Sam Johnson.
Yeah.
And
We miss you, Sam.
I miss him so much, and I think this was like him kind of letting me know, he's still along with my process. I was originally going to put it out on June the 29th, I think was the date. Something ended up happening. I had to get it remastered and get some things finished on it. And then I went looked on my calendar and, counted, you count 5 weeks, given enough time to sit on DistroKid. And I just put it out for July 12th. I was like, cool, July 12th.
Yeah.
Well, it ended up being, I looked at my phone, July 14th was the day Sam passed. So I looked at my phone, I was just like, that's Sam telling me, keep grinding, dog.
Yeah.
And he's out there watching. But we wrote this song, and it was one of the most fun times I've ever had in a room. It was the first write I'd ever written with tracks. Written with a track guy, and it totally changed my perspective because I'm not the best guitar player in the world. I mean, I can play 4 chords and make it through a song, but that was the most fun that we've ever had in a room, and I think we wrote it in an hour and a half. And I think it's because we were just having fun. But it's called "Cry Me a River," and it is to a T describes me. I grew up bass fishing my whole life, and I swore that's what I was going to do one day. I was going to become a pro at it, which I dedicated a lot of time to fishing tournaments to the time I was 13 to 21, 22 years old, and I finally just said, I love fishing, but this is making me not appreciate it anymore. So I stepped away from it, and then that's kind of when I fell in love with music again. But I'm excited. This is my favorite song I've ever written.
It's a great song. And we've heard it extensively at Writers Rounds too. So we kind of got to hear it from when it was originated to...
It's changed a lot.
Yeah.
It has changed a lot. The production was awesome on it. Josh Bright did a killer job on it.
I love Josh.
So shout out to him. I can't wait for
Did you
everybody
go
else to hear
down to Alabama, or did he come up here?
So he came up here. We did the live tracking at Grady's place.
Awesome.
And then I always go down to Boaz to do the vocals. So we'll do 2 or 3 vocals a day, and then I'm worn the hell out and go back home, and we'll rest up and come back 2 weeks later, and we'll do it all over again.
Do some more.
Yeah.
He did a lot of Uncle Cracker stuff too.
Yeah. He's told me several stories about people he's worked with, and I'm just like, this is crazy.
Crazy. All the way down in Boaz, Alabama too.
He's got a nice little setup down there, and he's helped me out a lot, working with my schedule, because it is 2 hours away, and he knows that I'm writing or I'm out on the road, so whenever I can make it work, he'll come in and pull overtime for me. So
yeah, that's great.
He's awesome for that.
So do you guys have a marketing plan, or do you have any videos recorded yet or not yet?
I've got a bunch of videos I've been making myself. A lot of them are just specifically for the release day, but I've got some other stuff that we're working on too. This is the most fun I've ever had marketing a song, just because it feels like it's so me that I can just really be myself with it, and that was my goal with these next songs I'm putting out, is feel comfortable just being myself.
Yeah.
Is the vibe of the song more of a sad song, or is it more fun, or?
I always describe it as the modern day version of "I'm Gonna Miss Her," but it's a lot more funny.
Oh, cool! Early aughts, kind of country that's serious, but has a fun side to it.
Yeah, it definitely has a fun side to it, and it's got a little bit more of that rock side to it, which we had a blast playing around with it and coming up with the ideas for the production on it. So it turned out super good. I've been the most anxious for this release than any other song I put out, just because I can't wait to see what people think of it.
Yeah. And you've had some success with previous releases, so every time you have one do well, kind of builds that base.
It does. And I was super shocked. I'd put out songs before I moved here, but Missin' Mississippi I wrote with Jordan Rager, and it was just me and him. It was probably another one of my favorite writes I've had. We just kind of let a story out and just put it out in a song, which I tell everybody, songwriting is nothing more than free therapy. That's all it is. But it did super well when it came out and got put on some big playlists in town, which just kind of made me realize okay, I can compete up here with the big dogs. So.
Yeah, man, that's a big part of it too. Once you hit those playlists, then they're paying attention to your future releases.
Yeah, then they're watching you. And that's what it takes. I remember seeing the first time I got put on Next from Nashville. I'm like, wow, I just moved here, but seeing my name pop up on that playlist, I was like, all right, well, I can compete with them, so let's run with the big dogs and see what happens.
That's like getting on the radio in 2024, right?
Yeah. Who listens to the radio now?
Single moms, people that aren't as big of country music fan. They're still really big listening base for radio shows, but that listening base is very much more the casual fans.
Yeah.
People specifically in the music industry don't understand who that is because we're all not those people.
Like I
Listen
never,
to our podcast with Chris Owen, and you'll learn all
Yeah.
about how many people listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I never like get in my car and think to listen to the radio. There's always like a podcast I want to hear, like somebody dropped a new record that I want to listen to, and like
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, if somebody drops a new album, I'm listening to it from top to bottom. Like
So
I'm not gonna go pick songs. I want to go listen to the whole thing.
You are an active listener,
Yeah,
but there's a lot of passive listeners.
yeah.
I think you
For
called, the other day you were like someone driving home from the grocery store, and they've got kids in the back. They turn the car on, the radio turns on, they don't change it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They leave it on whatever station.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
on.
And if it hits a commercial, maybe they change it to the other station they listen to too.
I'm the type of person, like, if this is probably bad of me to be this way, but like if there's a song that comes on that I have played over 1,000 times, I'm like 3 seconds in, if I recognize it, I'm changing
Yeah.
it so
Yeah.
fast. I just can't do it at this point.
I'm the same way with albums. I'll go back to like Dr. Dre's Chronic, the 2001,
Yeah.
and all the hits I will skip, and all the B-sides I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Listen to those deep cuts. That's
Yeah.
where the good music's at.
Well, and it's harder nowadays because deep cuts don't exist when you're releasing singles.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, that's kind of the way it's turned. I feel like everybody's just single every 6
Yeah.
weeks, and I mean,
6
there's
to
still
8
people
weeks.
doing the album thing, but
For sure.
I feel like you have to be really established. Because my thing
Yes.
is I don't want to put together an album right now and put together 10 great songs and people listen to 3
2
of
of
them,
'em.
4
Yep.
of them.
3 of them.
It's just
Yep.
5 of them,
Yeah.
one of them.
yeah, maybe one
Half.
of them at this point.
Yeah.
No, it's so true though. It's funny how it works because as you see, like Zach Bryan, Luke, Morgan Wallen,
Yeah.
they can put out a double record or a triple record and it all gets
I
consumed.
mean, they could tell you 12 hours before I'm putting out a single tomorrow, and it's
yeah.
going #1.
Well, Morgan just deactivated his Insta account. Which
He's got something going on. He's
I'm
got
sure it's a
something
new
up his
album.
sleeve. Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure
what
it
I
is.
This
think.
is why I did it, so we talk about it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it works. But it's one of those things where if Morgan does anything, people pay attention to it.
Yeah, people's paying attention to every move he does.
Right. So of course he's gonna have the ability to do things like that. Anything
yeah.
he does, they're like posting about on Instagram.
It doesn't take long in TikToks. There's somebody telling the whole news story about him deleting his account or
Yes.
whatever, and making their own assumptions of what's coming
Yep.
next.
But as an independent artist, you have to figure out what your version of that is.
Yeah.
Right. It's not just easy or shutting off your Instagram
No,
account.
it's not. If I shut off my Instagram, ain't nobody gonna know probably.
Right. They'd be like, wait, I haven't seen anything from Paxton in a while. I
Yeah.
wonder where he went.
Or they just won't even notice.
Yeah, they probably just wouldn't even notice.
But that's the thing is it's just the level of where you're at. So it's just being
Yeah.
mindful of where you're at and working towards the things that you can control.
I feel like you got to be appreciative of where you're at too.
Yes.
I know, like when I first got to town, I really wasn't appreciative of where I was just because I wanted to. I'm an impatient person, anyways.
Most people are.
about everything, but music specifically has been the hardest thing for me to have patience about, which I've gotten a lot better at it. But it's just because, like, when I say like I want it so bad, I want to be able to go out and like play on the biggest stages, play the biggest shows. And that's what I moved up here for. So, I mean, that's the main goal, but just having patience with it has been the biggest test for me.
We've interviewed so many different artists, and I think one of the themes that is reoccurring is how much patience you need,
Yeah.
like to hurry up and wait. And it's like, you wrote a song, well, I want it to be out now. Well, it's like, well, I got to find the producer.
Yeah.
Then you got to put on, cut everything. You got to wait to get your date to record it, and then put on DistroKid and wait and wait and wait. And you're like, I just want this music out. I just want to play these stages. And
That's
it's
the hardest part.
It is for sure.
waiting is the hardest part.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah. Also, another theme is hating TikTok.
Yeah. Nobody
Yeah.
likes the grind of social media because everyone
tough,
thought
man.
in their head